So, Darth Vader versus Thanos.
Oh yeah.
Who's the bigger villain? I wanted to bring that up kind of here and talk about it.
I thought you
Obviously,
said like who could crush the other one. I'm like,
yeah.
it's not hard.
Well, the thing is, people have been discussing this. I've seen it pop up on a few pages on who's the better villain, and people are like, well, Thanos. Will he be remembered 20, 30 years from now? Yes, yes, he will.
Yeah.
There is legit kids that watched Spider-Man get snapped by Thanos who were crying in theaters that were like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old that were emotionally like, what just happened?
Yeah, I mean, just going by that, going by some of the crowd's reactions from when people posted that up on like YouTube and stuff, you saw people like actually crying that Thanos
Like,
won.
Like, here's the thing that I try to argue this with people, and they're just so level-headed that they don't understand. They're so dense they don't understand it. You as a 35-year-old, when you were a kid, no, Luke, I am your father, blew your mind, and he became the biggest villain and best villain of all time because of the time and the nostalgia. Today's kids, 10 years old, watching Avengers Infinity War for the first time, seeing that, that's their Luke, I am your father moment.
Yeah.
This will change their perception of films forever, and it already has. To them, Darth Vader, Luke, I'm your father is pointless because the prequel ruined that. So,
I mean, even this, it's not necessarily a case of that. It's just like, yeah, cool, that's Star Wars, but this is Marvel. Like,
Right.
Marvel is their Star Wars now.
Exactly. So you can't really argue the two. Oh, who's going to be more memorable? Who's the better villain? They're completely different villains with different time periods where they, came into and what they did and their effect on the entire thing.
Yeah,
It's
like,
you cannot even comparable.
Yeah, it's just like the only thing you can compare them is that now Thanos is immortalized in pop culture for,
Yeah.
for
I mean,
this time period.
I would say they're both in the same spot. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to me, forever, Darth Vader will be like the ultimate, oh my god, villain, right? Like, that blew my mind. Obviously, I grew up before I even liked Marvel, I liked Star Wars. It's like one of the first things I ever remember. So it's like,
I say, see, mine's neither.
oh.
At least for me, like neither of those. Like, they're obviously they're up there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you want to say strictly movies, it's definitely one of those two. But of all time, which is the
Oh
question.
yeah, I think when it comes to movies, yeah, all-time villains though, yeah, probably not. I mean, but people also
because I'm very like weeby. I always go for Sephiroth. He's too iconic in my eyes.
Yeah,
Like, if you haven't played that game, you know what that dude looks like. You know what he does.
that is true too. That is true.
No.
Well, that's also the thing where people always bring Joker into the conversation as well, because he's always.
Which it's completely fine. Like, Joker is like it's define what best is.
Exactly. Yep.
Like, what do you mean by the best? You mean like what they did? Because if that's the case, then I'm sorry, then it's definitely not Vader. It's Thanos in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Vader's a puppet.
And like
The trick was definitely making a puppet.
That's why, like, when people put those up, I'm like, what do you mean, like, like their overall goal or strongest? And I'm like, well, Thanos beats him like 2 out of those times. So,
and also like
cultural impact.
When I talk to people, I'm like, okay, well, we're talking about this aspect, which is like, and then they bring in a Joker. I'm like, well, which version of the Joker? And they're like, well, it's all Joker. I'm like, but they're so different. Like, it's just a question that I think you can't really get into on that level. It's completely different. It's a different type of mentality. Like, and to me, I don't even know who I would honestly see as like the best villain ever. Probably Scott Buck. I mean, he's pretty high up there. Look at what he did to Inhumans and Iron Fist, and so he's.
Let's face reality. Screwing up Inhumans and Iron Fist wasn't that great of a challenge. No, it really wasn't that hard to do.
That is true too, though. That is true. So, I don't know. Like, a lot of people will argue. Obviously, it's what you grew up with and what you like, what kind of had an impression on you. It's like when you talk about the greatest movie of all time or whatever. Everybody has a different opinion because obviously not everybody can agree upon the same thing. Like, it's
there's the whole like our generation right now is like, oh, remember this thing from high school, and even the generation under us, they remember this thing is completely different to ours. Like, people are going to do that with Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
People just do it with Darth Vader now. They're gonna, it's going to happen. Like,
yeah. Yep.
Whether we're allowed to see it happen is a different question. But in some timeline where we survive, it's going to happen. I guarantee you.
That is true. That's exactly how it goes. It's a different time, different mentality. Everything's changed. And I'd honestly like to find out who everybody says is theirs. Like, who's your favorite villain, and who do you think is the best? Because I'm assuming there'll be some interesting picks, obviously, because somebody will say Doctor Doom, and I can, yeah. I mean,
Doctor Doom's the basis for Vader. You could argue that makes him better.
Exactly, and the tragedies Doom goes through and stuff. So it's like, yeah, that's all there as well. So like, again, you can't really argue against someone's opinion because they come at it from a different angle. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see some of the responses. I think we'll get some pretty good ones. So yeah, I just want to.
As long as it's not Bellatrix and Predator.
Predator's a villain? What?
I mean,
one of the greatest villains, but Predator.
I mean, the last Predator movie I would consider a villain, because Shane, what the hell did you do with that movie? Jesus Christ, that was terrible.
I never saw that.
Oh, all right. If you ever get real wasted and just want to have a really good time, that might be a good idea, because you're not going to believe what happens in that movie. It's just so bad in every. Oh God.
Excellent.
Shane Black, the ultimate villain. There we go. No, Shane Black's pretty good. He gave us Iron Man 3, the best one in the trilogy.
He did.
Yep.
Well, second best. Or joint first. We'll do joint first.
All right, there we go.